Veebish do, fellow reloaders, this is Jace, coming to you with Not Your Common Ammo. And before we get today's video going today, remember, point your finger at the like button and call it a lazy, no-good lout. And then, when the subscribe button is laughing at what you just said to the like button, point your finger at it and say, you are no better. So with that being said, we're going to move on to today's video.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
Green flag, the gas is on the lake, man, go! Remember to breathe, remember to breathe. Watch it. Car high.
So first thing I'm going to get into is something that doesn't have, well, it has something to do with reloading, but it kind of doesn't. Okay, so there was a tragedy that happened to Mr. Alec Baldwin a little while ago. All right, as somebody who likes guns, works with guns, knows guns, there are certain rules that you follow that you cannot break. They are cardinal rules that you do not break. Okay? If you break one of them, you might get away with it. You might get away with it that time, but don't do it again. Okay? And unfortunately, he found out the hard way 2 of those rules. Well, 3 of those rules not to break. First is any weapon that is handed to you, any gun that is handed to you, always treat it as if it's loaded. Always. The second part of that rule is don't point it at anybody or anything that you don't want to destroy. Okay? And thirdly, don't pull the trigger unless you're ready. Okay? If you're just dicking around, don't do it. Okay? Mr. Baldwin, your finger was on the trigger, you pulled the trigger, you're responsible. Like any other gun owner, like any other person that pulls the trigger when they take a shot, they are responsible. It doesn't matter if the prop guy handed you the weapon, you didn't treat it as if it were loaded. That was a ball and cap pistol. I used to have one just exactly same. There's only one way to unload that thing, and that's to pull the trigger, okay? There's only one way to do it. You can't take the cartridge out, all right? And that's the third rule that he broke. He didn't know his gun. He didn't know his weapon. Know your weapon. Do not point it at anybody or anything that you don't wish to destroy. And lastly, treat it as if it's always loaded. If you treat a gun like it's loaded with respect, it will not bite you in the ass. You broke 3 rules, Mr. Baldwin. I'm sorry. That finger being on the trigger, you are responsible. Okay? It doesn't matter who handed you the weapon. If they told you it was live or not, your finger pulled the trigger. You're responsible. Now with that out of the way, okay. The things I've learned. First of all, powders. This kind of goes in with something that, well, I shop local, okay? And at my local outfitter, my Outdoor Sportsman, I go there and I've made friends with a certain guy behind the counter. He does reloading, and I don't know what his name is, so I will call him Fred. So Fred is awesome. I pick his brain for things, and I have found that one is, the reason why we're having such a hard time getting our powder and our primers and things like that is that, there was a run on ammunition a little while back. It's still kind of going on, but there was a run on ammunition. So all the powder and primers and bullets are all going to fill that void that's actually kind of still going on, but it's going to still fill that void. People are still buying ammunition left and right. Well, this leaves a problem for us reloaders because if you don't have a stockpile, your ammunition sits with no primers. Okay? Which it's kind of coming around. We have powder. We have we have our powders. We have powders. Okay? But the primers are a little bit of a concern, but it's starting to turn around. We're starting to see some small pistol primers, small rifle primers, mag pistol primers, and military primers are starting to come into stock. Okay? We're starting to get them back. Okay? Well, it may also be a little bit of a problem that a certain army left a whole bunch of stuff in the desert. So that might have a little bit to do with it as well. But we're going to kind of gloss over that. Now, something else I also figured out about powders. Okay, so there are three powder manufacturers. Well, there's more than that, but Hodgdon and I can't say the name of it. I'm not even going to try, so I'm just going to call it Fred. All right, so there's Hodgdon and Fred, okay? They are basically it. And you say, hey, Jace, you missed a few. IMR, Winchester, accurate. It's sitting right in front of you, Jace, accurate. No, I want you to take a look at something. Yep. Accurate is made by Accurate MagPro, made by Hodgdon. Folks, so that means that your IMR, okay, your IMR 7977 and your MagPro, they are so close to each other. They're so close. It's just component difference, and that's it. They're the same powder, just component difference. They're made by the same people, probably in different plants, but it's the same manufacturing process. Okay, so that is the same as an IMR. That's also the same as your beloved 4350. It's all the same, just component differences. That's it. All right, so that's that on powders. Now, another thing that I learned about powders, there are 3 different types. There is a single stage, there is a double stage, and there is triple stage. Single stage, that's for your pistols. Double stage, that is for your rifles and things like that. And then your triple stage, this is military stuff. This is like 155 rounds. This is howitzer rounds, big things. And you will never see that powder. Believe me, it burns bright, long, and fast. I had to decommission some powders at one time, and we put maybe about 50 pounds in a tray. So as we were lighting it off, it sent at 50 pounds of powder. Okay, it sent a pillar of fire maybe about 300 feet in the air, and the heat from that pillar of fire was you could feel it a quarter mile away. Yeah, it was intense. One other thing I did learn was black powder. A lot of people, since there has been a run on powder, what people have been doing is making their own. Now, I'm not going to show you how to make your own, but I will tell you this. I might make another video that shows me burning off some or making some what they call gun cotton. So either way you go, I might end up doing that. All right, so that's something that I did learn, okay? Now, another thing I also learned is that, and this one's kind of, it's kind of funny. All right, so if you take a look here, let's zero this out. All right, so here are the cheap plastic calipers, or I'm going to call them CPC. The CPC, these guys, I've got a problem. Let's move this out to right there. That is the length of my bullets, right? There's a little bit of a problem. There are only two decimal places for the CPC. Okay, 2 decimal places, which is it'll get me into the ballpark, but I don't want to be in the ballpark. I want to be on the pitcher's mound. Okay, so what did we do? We went and got another set of calipers. I love these calipers. These are some really, really good calipers. I will call these the calipers of accurateness because they are just that, accurate. All right, so the calipers of accurateness. Now, if you take a look, here we go. We're in millimeters. We want to be in inch. There we go. So we've got it in inch. And already you see the difference. Let me move out here. Okay, so already you see the difference that we are out there to, let's say, when I first did my first measurement, right? I did my first measurement and it came at, 2.72. What I didn't see was it was right there. Right there. 2.29. And if you take a look real close, you see that 5? Yeah, that's okay. Let's start from here. It's tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. Yeah, it's got 10,000s in there. I like that. Okay, so remember, decimal point only makes you more accurate. And to show you what I'm talking about, I've got a whiteboard here. Okay, so there's my 2. Right? There's 2 point, and that's 7/10. Okay? And then here is 2, this little itty bitty mark right here. That's 2 hundredths. And then that 9, that's in the thousands. Okay? Now that 9 being in the thousands, that's the one that I am going to subtract 3 from. Okay? So I can go 369. I can take 3 away from that. That'd be 9, 6. I said that backwards. 9, 6, 3. And I'm still at my 2000s. Or my 2000s. So there's that. All right. So that is another thing that I have learned. I learned that yes, you may buy and try to stay in the cheap, crappy plastic calipers. You may try, but for the most part, don't skimp on your calipers. You want to get into the ballpark? Get into the ballpark. You want to be on the pitcher's mound? That'll get you to the pitcher's mound. That'll get you to the pitcher's mound. Always be accurate. The more accurate you are, the better things will go for you. Now, that's all I have today. And remember, hit the like and subscribe buttons and make sure you give them both a black eye. All right? All right, folks, I'm going to finish out my day. You do the same. Take care of yourself. Bye now.